All right, man, I'm right back at it. This video is about how to take advantage of the Web3, Web3, you know? And, sorry, I'm adjusting exposure a little bit. It's a little too bright. Man, yeah, sorry. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm like photographer, videographer guy, so it's like bothering me. Anyway, so, in my last video, I hate this, man. I hate that. In my last video, we talked about a brief history of Web 1, Web 2, a little bit about Web 3 and what's going on. How do you take advantage of it? Look, first of all, you want to think about Web 3 in terms of it being it's like a 15-year time frame, right? Like you're the internet from 1989 to 2000 and early 2000s is about 15 years. And then from the early 2000s to now is about 15 years. Look at this for the next 15 years. Really, maybe the next 10. Maybe it's a lot faster than it was. Maybe the next 7 to 10, right? Maybe not 15 years because the time frame is sped up, and blockchain has been around here since, for a while, right? It has been around for since 2009, 10 really, right? So, how do you take advantage of it? First of all, you need to reframe. And look, not financial advice. I'm a random dude on the internet. You know what I mean? So I have to say that as like a disclaimer, right? But this is just my perspective, right? No idea what's going to happen in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Who does? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying from my perspective, based on, my study of where things have been going over the last 5 years, this is kind of where I'm at with it, right? You have to in my opinion, you have to reframe the way you're looking at money, information, communication, and content, okay? And content is gaming, content is movies, film, photos, all that stuff, audio, you know what I mean? Content is social media, right? And all that. Communication is also social media. It's also emails and texts, and it's also talking on the phone and or voice communication and whatnot. Information is also currency, but it's also records of things, and it's also emails, and it's also proof of things, and and that could be car titles, sales receipts, and real estate titles, repairs done. It's a lot of things, medical records, you know what I mean? It's a lot. Information is a lot, right? And then obviously you get to money, Bitcoin, Ethereum, money, right? The reason why all this is cool to to think about using in this capacity is because the blockchain is the most secure database that's ever existed on the planet. Well, Bitcoin is the most secure database that's ever existed. The blockchain is the most secure database that's ever existed in terms of a way to secure something. The problem that people have is it's not privatized, right? Or it's not not privatized. It's not private, right? It's a public ledger, right? But in that is where the security is. So to maintain the integrity of the information, it has to be available to everybody in real time, and everybody needs to get a simultaneous update whenever that information is changed. And that's what makes it secure. You know what I mean? Not everybody likes that public thing, but what's also cool about it is that your identity can be pseudonymous, right? Or pseudonymous, I think it is, right? So you have anonymity, and then you have pseudonymity, which is, anonymity is yo, I have no idea who, what, where, when, why, blah, blah. It's nobody, right? Nothing that says who it is. Pseudonymity is, I have no idea who you are, but you could prove it to me, or I could track you and find out, right? So you could have a series of 32 characters, and whether the letters and numbers, like the Bitcoin addresses or Ethereum addresses, and by looking at that, I have no idea who it is, right? But if I were able to follow these transactions or trace back these transactions to an address that did have an identity, okay, I could track somebody there. But, or if I needed to prove that I'm the one in control of this information or this wallet in court, I could say, hey, this is me here, look, boop, and provide proof that that's my thing, right? And that's what makes it secure, and that's why you want to invest. That's why, these things like this technology will be ubiquitous, and the adoption will be very drastic and move very quickly, because it's just the next phase of technology, and it improves on the technology that we have right now. So how do you make money with it? Look, I lay that foundation, however strong or weak it was, I lay that foundation because in order to know how to make money off something, like, you got to know how it works, right? You got to know the mechanisms for it. And so by me giving you the mechanisms, like, I could give you 50 tips on how to make money, but there may be 10,000 ways to make money. But because I gave you the mechanisms, you might see the ways to make money and look at 500 different ways that I'll just never see. I'm stuck in my 50, right? And so, I got to give you that foundation. Now, in order to make money with this phase, the easiest way is to own crypto. You know what I mean? And depending on how long or short term your investment is, which in my opinion, and in my case, it's perpetual. It's as long as this seems like a viable technology, I'm in it. You know what I mean? For perpetuity, for the foreseeable future. You know what I'm saying? Indefinitely, I'm in this. You know what I'm saying? And so buying crypto, for me, is a perpetual, indefinite thing. Therefore, my currency, my reserve currency, the cryptocurrency that I choose to adopt is Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Now, if for more short-term positions, like things that I'm looking for as an investment strategy, I want to see, I think that, the Vive app with Ecomi, their main coin for that, I think that has a bunch of the potential for longevity, but also a lot of short-term, short-term, what do you call it? Potential. Like, I think the short-term growth for that could be very good, right? I don't know. I don't really know how it's going to play out long-term. I don't really know, you know what I'm saying? Because, all right, so Vive here, because this might like give you a little bit of an insight into something else, right? But Vive, the VV app, VEVE is how you spell it, and you can download it at your Play Store right now. It sells NFTs that are licensed from Disney, Marvel, DC, Pokemon, Power Rangers. I mean, you name it. These are licensed, NFTs, right? The reason why I'm not necessarily, a long-term investor in an app like that is because we're about decentralization, right? And so in decentralization, we're getting rid of, like, the people that control everything, right? We're getting rid of control. And when I have a copyright, I've filed it, you know what I mean, with a central authority that is responsible for executing, or enforcing that copyright, right? But and that's like that side. This is the old world side of things, right? And we need to go to the new world side, which is now NFTs, which are digital collectibles with verifiably authentic, records that can be transferred from owner to owner. And so you have this copyright that's supposed to enforce one's, privilege of using intellectual property. And then you have this property digitally that can be authenticated and verified and transferred from one person to another. The enforcement, I would like to see how this enforcement side of things impacts, the theft that can go on this side of things. You know what I'm saying? Or does this side, the NFT side, create a mechanism that, automatically enforces the use of the intellectual property? You know what I mean? I don't know. And because I don't know, right? Because I don't know, because this is like a really gray area. This is things that never existed before. You know what I mean? But because I don't know how that's going to play out, I don't know if I want to be in it long term. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you want to kind of think about this thing. You know what I mean? Short term, got a lot of hype, a lot of craze, bring in collectibles that already have real world value, that people are already paying for, standing in line for. You know what I mean? People are already hoarding and keeping safe and blah, 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 and putting on display in places and in museums and whatnot, right? These are things that are already happening with these collectibles, bringing them into the digital space where now they can be verified authentically via an immutable ledger. Like, that has tremendous value. Short term, hella bullish. You know what I mean? Super bullish. Long term, though, right? Enforcing the copyright on that, to me, it's tough. I don't know how they're going to do it, really. You know what I mean? And maybe the platform, the space itself creates the mechanism, because it is right, it is fair, it is just to pay somebody their due. You know what I mean? What you owe them for use of their artwork. Like, I'm 100% on board with that, right? But, the music industry took a massive, massive hit when Napster came out, which was decentralized file sharing. You know what I'm saying? And when that came out, the music industry took a massive, massive, massive hit, right? And it's never really recovered from it. And that's why I'm saying all this, right? Like, so I'm giving you right here, like, the thought process behind it. Okay, so there's a new technology, and you want to look at it in phases. It's either long-term or short-term, right? I mean, short-term or long-term, sorry. And then, you take these phases and you think about which part you want to be a part of. There's always way more money in the long run. If something has longevity, always more money in it. Promise you, the payout, the hodl game for that, the reward for that is always better than the short term, whatever you could have hit. You know what I mean? On viable projects, things that have longevity. Now, I was going to say something about longevity. Now, just like I don't know what's going to happen in the long term, right? Like, I don't know what mechanism, what new thing is going to come out that's going to, improve on the mechanism that makes this thing profitable. I don't know, right? I have no idea. But something could happen. Something could come out. You know what I mean? And that changes the whole game, right? And so that's also, you could look at something and you could be like, nah, you know what? That's a short-term thing. I don't want to mess with it. And then you find out that, yeah, because this new mechanism came into play, it changed the game. Now this has long-term viability. It has longevity. You know what I mean? That's investing. You know what I mean? That's how investing goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you make a good play, sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? Sometimes you guessed right, sometimes you guess wrong. You know what I mean? Either way, like, if you guessed wrong on something, like if you bet short term on something and it didn't work out long term, but you bet short, great. But if you bet short and got out and then it went long term, you didn't lose anything, you just didn't make as much as you could have made. You know what I mean? And it happens like that. You got to learn to live with it. But investing in the right NFT platforms, investing in play-to-earn games. It's the new phase of gaming, man. Kids making money gaming. Kids have already been making money gaming for the last 10 years, doing tournaments and being featured on, all kind of platforms where, like, just people go and watch them play and donate. And some kids are making a couple $1,000,000 a year just gaming, right? Being beasts at games. It could be obscure games. You know what I mean? Dude, there's kids making money playing chess. You know what I mean? You think somebody can't make money playing Call of Duty and shooting a whole team up? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. It's like that, So, there's that, right? We're getting into, it's coming. Decentralized social media. It's coming. Without all of the censorship restraints. It's coming, bro. It's coming. We're getting to decentralized content sharing, where we don't have a film exec, a film exec or a distribution exec saying yay or nay on the content that you want to watch. You know what I mean? Not funding really good scripts because it won't make $1 trillion. So I don't want to do it. Just throw it in the trash. Let's buy it and hoard it and not let it out. You know what I mean? That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And you'll never, like, these are movies that could be your favorite movie, but because an exec decides to bury it, it's buried. You'll never see it. You know what I'm saying? And a movie could have been successful making like a couple $100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500 grand in profit after paying everybody and paying for the production and everything. But because an exec didn't see that as big enough of a margin, right? You don't get to see the movie that could have been your favorite movie. That sucks. That sucks. The artist and the audience now can connect in a way that doesn't have some middleman, a greedy middleman in the middle trying to stop everything because they need to make more bucks, right? That's coming. It's really coming. You're going to have, take it or let it alone. You're going to have people put scripts on a blockchain platform to crowdfund it, and then investors buying $1 or $100,000 worth of that script to produce the movie, and then also get a piece of the box office sales, the stream sales. That's coming. That's coming. If your model for business is only the toll booth, it's not the production side, it's not even the distribution side, right? It's just the toll booth in the middle. That model is dying. It's dying. You're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to be more egalitarian in the way that you procure a profit on projects, connecting artists with their audience. You know what I'm saying? Real estate is going to be severely disrupted in terms of escrow. We have blockchain. We have smart contracts. You have people who have millions and millions of dollars in crypto. Right now, there's a bunch of people who were made millionaires this year. A lot. Okay? A lot. Right? They want to go and buy property. Look, right now the laws are how the laws are. Laws change, my friend. Laws change. Okay? We're going to come to a point where the owner wants to accept crypto and the buyer wants to pay in crypto. The only people that have a problem with it is this small group of people in the middle who are, in large part, interchangeable and also somewhat insignificant in terms of the buyer and the seller wanting to connect, right? These people in the middle are going to have to adapt. They're going to have to adapt. Look, a good realtor that knows how to tell you that that's a bad property to buy and that's a good property to buy, great. Oh, it can negotiate for you, great. Like, that person will probably earn their keep. You know what I'm saying? But somebody who literally is just like, yeah, you got to have this much money. Okay, now you get paid that, you get paid that, you get paid that, and then I get paid this. That person, that's not a viable business in Web3. In Web3, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? There's so much, man. There's so many ways. Look at every aspect of your life. Look at everything that you do and realize, after you learn the technology and how it works, think about how it's going to impact behavior, consumer behavior, and how it's going to impact producer behavior, right? How it's going to impact production and how production is going to look at things, right? Look at all that, consider all that, and then decide what part you want to stake your claim in. Where do you want to put your money to take advantage of it, right? For some people, it's going to be in the content side. For some people, it's in their information side. For some people, it's strictly currency, right? It's whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of it. And that is the beauty of it. It's how you want to do it. No permission to get, nobody to block you, nobody to say yay or nay on what you decide. You can do whatever you want. You want to produce something and bring it to the marketplace. That's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. But it's also going to be the hardest battle, right? So yeah, man, it's my 2 cents. How to profit from Web3, right? How to position yourself for Web3. It's just some ideas I got, all right? I love you. Be safe. Peace.